Whether you're trading short-term or investing long-term, never trade without checking these 3 metrics. These simple metrics will help you avoid common mistakes. Cryptocurrency markets. Many people, new or experienced, overlook these and make costly errors. Spend 15 to 20 minutes checking these before trading, and you'll reduce mistakes and stop losing money consistently. Understand when to realize profits. Liquidation. Analyze market liquidation levels effectively. If you take the time to check these before making a trade, just 15-20 minutes, I assure you that your mistakes will be cut in half, and I bet you'll stop consistently losing money and understand when to realize your profits. Liquidation. There are many ways to see and analyze the liquidation levels in the market, folks. On our Coin Engineer website, we already provide you with an overview of this map. Liquidation. There are many ways to see and analyze the liquidation levels in the market, folks. On our Coin Engineer website, we already provide you with an overview of this map. When you enter the site and scroll down a bit, the liquidation map appears. As you know, the futures side of the cryptocurrency markets is quite important, and unfortunately, what people are mostly leaning towards, where they are entering from, and how profitable their positions are, affects the market's progression. For example, we currently have the Bitcoin liquidation map in front of us. We see that many people actually open short positions around the 100,000 levels and are still holding on to those positions. You can see this from the thick line here. And generally, when these liquidation areas are close together and accumulated, the market tends to clear those areas before moving. Because just think about it, guys, what if the market goes from here to, let's say, $30,000 or $40,000? So what will happen? Will those who open shorts from here become billionaires? Market makers won't allow that. Even if it goes down again, it will come to these levels before it goes down. Similarly, when the market goes up, it tends to collect the liquidities below. This has always been the case. As I mentioned, you can check it out on the Coin Engineer website. You can also look at it from a shorter term perspective, 24 hours. As you can see here, the long traders, they are in a more dangerous situation. But if you're taking a long-term approach, you might want to look at the market as a family or something. It would make more sense. Here we can also see that liquidation has accumulated around the $88,000 level. Similarly, there are significant short positions just above $100,000. There are many altcoins here. You can examine them one by one. As you can see, liquidation has accumulated here. At one point, it cleared this area. I randomly entered, but let's say if I'm going to buy this cryptocurrency or open a long position, I would wait for the nearby liquidations to be cleared. I would open it like that. Many people don't pay attention to these and can end up in a bad position or get stopped out in a short time. So make sure that the nearby liquidity has been cleared, guys. Whether you're going long or short, meaning whether you're buying or selling, you need to pay attention to these. On our Coin Engineer website, you can already access the liquidation map for many altcoins. From this section, you can also analyze it on a monthly, yearly, or hourly basis. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to our Coin Engineer channel yet, don't forget to subscribe, guys. If you like these kinds of videos, don't hesitate to give a thumbs up. These motivate us. We're expecting 1,000 likes on this video as well. Feel free to write in the comments what you would like to see in the next videos. If you're doing shorter term trades in the market, you can also visit CoinGlass, guys. Here you can also see the liquidation history in the same way. For example, let's write an altcoin here. You can write whatever you like. They're all there. Let's get into the back. If you click on the liquidation section here, you can see that there has been a serious long liquidation has taken place. So if you're going to enter a coin, entering after a cleanup can be the best points. Similarly, if there were too many reds, it would mean that it's time for you to exit, guys. Right now, since the market is down, of course, there aren't too many reds. In fact, if we take a closer look, let's say there was quite a bit of liquidation gathered on that day. $1 million long position just on Binance. It's actually evaporated. Such times can actually be signs to enter long, meaning to make a purchase. If these are confusing you, you can also see the liquidation levels using indicators from TradingView. I won't actually recommend a specific indicator for this. There are dozens of different indicators for this. If you come here and type in liquidation, even if you just type like, many indicators will come up. You can choose one of these. Look. Right now, we're looking at a one-day chart of Ethereum. As you can see, what is this chart, or rather this indicator, telling us now? This part shows that an incredible amount of liquidation has accumulated here. If Ethereum SOM drops, it might clear $3,000. Liquidation at $4,000. So I guess it will clear these levels when it drops to around $3,000. But similarly, there is also liquidation accumulated at the upper levels around $4,000. What I'm trying to say, friends, is this. Let's say you have an idea of buying Ethereum and you're checking where the liquidation levels are. This could be a good price right now, yes. But we need to consider that it could also drop to these levels. It could clear these levels and go up. In such a scenario, what makes sense to do? Let's say you have a budget of $1,000. You would buy $200 from here. You would place an order for another $200 from here. You're still stuck here looking at this. You would buy another $200. Then you have $4 left on the upward chart. By making that $400 purchase, you actually create a safer buying scenario, friends. So instead of diving in headfirst with all your money, you would enter a bit more cautiously. Funding rates. Similarly, we also host the funding rates on our website, friends. When you go down, you see the long-short ratios. By the way, these are related to the funding rates. If you don't know what funding rates are, let me explain briefly. If there are more people taking long positions, meaning those who are buying, the funding rate becomes positive. If there are more people taking short positions, meaning those who think the market will go down, then the funding rates become negative. If it's negative, short sellers pay long holders every 8 hours. If there are more long holders, then long holders pay short sellers every 8 hours. It's paying a small fee. Of course, this applies to futures trading. There is no such fee in spot trading. But even if you're trading in spot, examining the funding rates will be useful for you, friends. You can also examine each coin individually or take a look at the overall state of the market. Let's take a look at the funding rates for Bitcoin from CoinGlass again. Here you can see the funding rate. As you can see, the funding rates have been positive for a while. This means that there are actually more people in long positions. As this rate increases, we need to be a bit cautious, friends. So actually, there are more people in long positions. As this rate increases, we need to be a bit cautious, friends, because if everyone is leaning towards long positions, you can think of these as market makers or as those who manipulate the market. They can bring it down, even if just for a short time. So when the funding rates are very positive, it actually makes more sense to sell. If you have trades in profit, you can trim from them, for example. Similarly, when the funding rates drop significantly, the market tends to go up, of course, after a while. As you can see here, when was the last time the funding rates turned negative? If we look at this graph, we're talking about levels around $60,000. Then it saw a 59, so on 58, and as you can see, it started its rally upwards. The negative funding rates also indicate that people are starting to lose their hopes for the market little by little, friends. In other words, they think Bitcoin is going to drop. It shows that they are starting to lose their hopes for the market little by little, friends. So they think Bitcoin is going to drop. They have lost all hope. They want to sell what they have. In such an environment, of course, the market is rising. Because, don't forget, let's say everyone has gone long at $60,000. They won't let the market rise. When they take it out, everyone becomes rich. First, they bring it down. They make you doubt. They scare you, and then they take it out. That's why you usually buy in the spot market. If you're on the futures side, you need to pay attention to these things. You need to prepare yourself for these discouraging periods. Otherwise, you'll end up losing money. In short, if the funding rates have risen significantly in a positive way, it's time to do some selling. Similarly, if it has dropped a lot, it's time to do some buying. Friends, I'm specifically talking about Bitcoin. On the altcoin side, it can be dangerous to view funding rates as a guess, because there's a lot more speculation going on with altcoins. What is the scenario for altcoins to rise? A place where Bitcoin is rising and accumulating. At the same time, if Bitcoin dominance is also falling, altcoins will rise in a positive environment. But if there's something I can tell you about funding rates and altcoins, friends, it's this. It doesn't matter whether it's negative or positive. If the funding rates are extremely high, at the extremes, would say, stay away from them for a while, at least until those funding rates stabilize. So whether you're going long or short, if the funding rates are inflated, stay away from that altcoin for a while. For example, there's a negative funding rate of 0.5%. That's quite high. Let's look at it from here. For example, Ripple's is much lower. With such cryptocurrencies around, it doesn't matter whether the funding rates are high, negative, or positive. You should stay away from altcoins. But let's say it's an altcoin that you really like. So what do? You would probably wait a few days and the funding rates will likely drop back to normal. After that, making buys or sells in calmer waters will be safer, just so you know. Market psychology. It's again related to funding rates, but I think the most important thing on this list, friends, is what the market psychology is like. There's actually a very classic index for this. For years, as long as I can remember, there's been such an index. It's called the Fear and Greed Index. This is also available on our website. At certain times, this greed goes above 85 or even 90. How is this happening, guys? The market is very positive. Everyone is making nice profits from the cryptocurrencies they bought. You go on Twitter, everything is positive. Everyone is sharing their P&L. New projects are coming out. Amazing airdrops are happening and people from outside are getting into the law. There's an undeniable positivity. Even your barber has started talking about cryptocurrency. During such times, when greed is at its peak, you absolutely must sell. As I said, this is not very difficult to understand. Check the worst index, but if social media is positive, sell a bit for profit. As fear rises, remember Bitcoin at 15K? It's hard to do this, but sell a little for profit, let some money come into your pocket. Similarly, as the index was down, meaning as the fear level increases, I remember the days when Bitcoin dropped to around $15,000. In two forums, everyone was writing negative things, guys. Bitcoin Ponzi, Bitcoin scam, Bitcoin fraud. During those times, you need to make a bold purchase. This is the psychology of the market. I hope this video has been helpful, guys. Don't underestimate these metrics. Whether you're trading short-term or long-term, these parameters will be very useful for you. Don't set yourself up for failure knowingly. These parameters will be very useful to you. Don't make mistakes knowingly. Don't step into the mud on purpose. If the liquidation levels are close, set a strategy accordingly. If the funding rates are inflated, set a strategy accordingly. If everyone is going long on Bitcoin, know that a drop is on the horizon. Just make sure that the period of fear won't last forever. Maybe this is the only thing that hasn't changed in the market for years.